What's going on, guys? Harry here. This is day 3 of the first week of my powerlifting prep program. So again, this is 8 weeks out. This is my squat strength day. So on this day I was going for 365 for 3 sets of 6. They moved pretty well, probably could have been a little bit better. Still need to work on my low bar squatting form and just kind of get some cues like ingrained in my head. So that'll definitely help. The night before this workout I was actually talking to my coach Joe, and he was watching the previous video of my low bar squats from earlier in the week, and he kind of already gave me some cues to think about. So one thing that he mentioned to me was during the setup he wants me to kind of get my elbows like pretty much right under the bar, which is kind of tough for me just based on like my mobility, but it's going to be something that I'll work on, and that'll just kind of help me keep my chest up and not kind of fall forward as I rise out of the hole of the squat. So he gave me that and then just told me to think about keeping my chest up, which I always do. It's just that my, I guess, back kind of tends to give out as the weight gets heavier for me, which is something that I definitely need to work on. But overall, I was really happy with the way that these moved, and this is definitely a PR for me, hitting 3 sets of 6 at 365. So looking forward to, again, getting deeper into this prep and hitting some bigger PRs. I was really happy that I recorded myself from this angle because it really shows that my depth has gotten so much better even in the last couple weeks just from low bar squatting a little bit more frequently. So for the past 2 weeks now I've been squatting 3 times a week, all in this competition stance, where before that in the off season I was squatting 3 times every like 12 days, and that was rotating between front squat, high bar pause squat, and low bar squat. So I really wasn't getting much practice at all with low bar squatting, which is one of the reasons that we're doing a 3-day per week squat, 3-day frequency for this meet prep, just because it's so much. I really know that I need so much practice when it comes to this movement. So this was my last set of squats for the day, again 3x6, really focusing on keeping my chest up. I know that I can pull my elbows a little bit in closer to my lats and keeping my elbows just down a little bit more so that it's more perpendicular to the ground, but again, just something I have to work on and probably don't have the mobility for it at this point, but just need to practice that over the next 8 weeks. Another thing I wanted to mention was that during this workout I was actually noticing some pain in my left arm, kind of in my biceps and also in my forearm, and I think it's just from being in this awkward position that I'm not used to, having my elbows tucked so far under the bar with low bar squatting, but I'm sure that I'll kind of adapt to that over time and just need to kind of do whatever I can to remedy that in the meantime. Alright, so moving on to bench press. This was my bench hypertrophy work. Earlier in the week you guys saw my bench strength work, so it's kind of just like flipped as opposed to squats. So squats I did hypertrophy earlier in the week, and then my third squat and third bench session for the week are just light, not light, but low rep, pretty low intensity power recovery days. So all of these reps moved really well. I was really happy with this. This was 225 pounds, which I've probably hit for 10s in the past, but last year at this time I was probably around like 10 pounds heavier, so not too sure what I've hit 225 at this body weight. But again, especially with all pause reps, I was happy to hit 3 sets of 10 at 225. The second set didn't move as well, or the third set I should say, didn't move as well as this first set, but I was able to grind out the reps, probably a little bit more of a grinder than I would like to see on a hypertrophy day, but I believe that this was like 72%, so for 3 sets of 10 I was really happy with it. One more thing I wanted to cover in this video, just want to cover it now to make sure that I have time, is that for this powerlifting prep video series I really want to include some more stuff instead of just training. Obviously I want it to be mostly training because that's pretty much what's most important leading up to this powerlifting meet, but also I'd like to include some either like equipment stuff, because I actually ordered some new equipment that I'll have coming in. I just got these shoes, so maybe I could incorporate a little bit of like a shoe review in this video if you guys are interested in the Adidas Powerlifts as opposed to standard Olympic shoes that most people have, and these are actually a lot cheaper. and I have some knee sleeves coming in. Not sure when they're going to get here though. And I can also include some like pre and post workout food stuff if you guys are interested in that. Alright, so moving into day 4 of this week, this was my deadlift strength day. And like I mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to be doing all singles throughout this entire prep. So this was 10 sets of 1 at 460. I believe this was like 85 or 87% of my max, which is currently set at 573, which is what I hit at the powerlifting meet back in August. So I thought that all of these reps moved really well. I think my hips were shooting up just a little bit at the beginning of each rep, but I was also kind of sore from squats the day before. So I'm maybe thinking about switching day 4 into 2 days after my squat strength day, which would be Saturday instead of Friday like I'm doing here. And last thing for the week was bench power, and that was pretty much it for the week. Had a really good week of training. Again, 3 days of squatting, 3 days of benching, and 2 days of deadlifting. Everything moved really well, and I'm really looking forward to progressing through this powerlifting prep. One last thing I wanted to mention in this video was the bar that I'm using at my gym. I actually asked my gym owner to order the Ohio Rogue Ohio Power Bar, which is pretty much made to like IPF specifications, so it's pretty much identical to a bar that you'd use at a USAPL meet for the squat, bench, and deadlift. So I'm really happy that he kind of took my advice and ordered the bar. It's a great bar for the money, especially. I think this was like $275. They also have one that's $250. So either way, $300 for a bar like this is a really good price from Rogue, especially since it's made in the US. And the last exercise here for the week was a 7-minute AMRAP. It's also called like density training. It's just kind of setting a time to do as many reps as possible on a given exercise. So this was dumbbell rows, so I did my right arm and then my left arm. I only recorded one side, but again, 7 minutes, just kind of doing as many as you can, almost like until failure. I think I hit 2 sets of 12, a set of 10, 3 sets of 8, and 3 sets of 6. So I ended up hitting 76 reps total in that 7 minutes with this 120-pound dumbbell. And then for my left arm, since I already knew that I hit 76 on my other arm, I think I just hit like 11 sets of 7. So I ended up doing 77 reps for my left arm. But overall, I really like this style of training and looking forward to doing this over the next few weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Day 2 of this first week of training was a deadlift and squat day, so I decided to put